Hello and welcome to For the Love of Paint. Here I'm just going to take you through the process of repairing and prepping this BMW M3 in black sapphire. So I'm just showing you some deep scratches there, some work on the bumper. There's a slight protrusion there which the camera sort of doesn't do justice. Quite a nasty one. And I'll just take you through some of the dents, and there's some vandal scratches down the side and how I go about removing them. So I do quite a lot of these and have done over the years. The way I like to do it is go at the scratch with some 180 grit, especially if the ones like these are they're not too aggressive, even though they are going down through to the primer underneath, and they're not quite wide enough where I'd probably need to attack it with 80 grit. So I'll get back to that in a minute, but here's just the front bumper. I'll just get the heat gun out and I'll just use a tool like a flathead screwdriver, and I'll just heat that up and just work that outward protrusion. I'll just work it in just slightly, just make it into something that I can work with, and something that I can just skim some filler in, and that's it. Keep the job relatively small. We could take the bumpers off and whatnot and undo instead the bumper and take the mouldings off, but it's not exactly what the customer wants or wants to pay, so we're doing the best for the customer, and the repair was good. So this is how I went about it. I've got some pictures at the end as well, which I can show you the finished product. So that's it, I'll just work it, no need to go too aggressive, so you can start, no need to start blistering paint and just removing some of the flaking paint. I'll just then get some 180s on the orbital and some 180s on a soft pad, and just work around underneath as well. Just above that as well, there was also slight dents, and below the headlight there was also, again, there was a slight protrusion, which again I just warmed it up, and as you can see there, and just work that down a little bit. So all 180s, and I've gone round the edges with 320s on the orbital. So I'm just going to attack these vandal scratches. So I've not got a soft pad on, but I'm keeping very mindful of how I'm using the tool. I'm looking, that's it, and keep checking and cleaning off. You want to get around, I'd say 90% of the scratch out without the soft pad, making sure you're not digging in to the panel too much. So you want to get 90% out and then switch to a soft pad. Found if you switch to soft pad, or you start off with a soft pad, it just doesn't get the scratch out effectively, and you can create ripples. Whereas this, if you use the tool properly and you stay focused, keep your eye on it, you'll remove this the scratch much quicker, and you can keep the panel flat. It works for me. So I've done quite a lot of these scratches, and this I found is the best method to go about it. So it was all the way down the full side there, and I'll show you what it was like in a minute after I removed the scratch. So a lot of it didn't go down to bare metal, only a little bit towards the rear there I think, and towards the front. And again, what I've done is switch to the soft pad 180s after I was about 90% there, and then I'll go around the edges with 320s and then 500s as well to remove any 320 scratches, and just to really feather it out, give you a nice clean surface for priming. Use some high build primer. So all the time you just want to make sure you're blending that feathered edge out. After a while you get used to knowing the sort of correct sort of pattern and the way the paint layers look for the most effective repair. So sometimes if you've not feathered out the edge enough on a repair, say scratches what I'm doing now, you can actually almost create dents where there's not enough of a gap between, say, bare metal and the base coat down to the primer underneath and down to the E-coat. I'll just take it a little bit further this time. Again, it's kind of like blending. You can go a little bit further out. See, what I've done for time management there is when I get some filler on, start stripping down the car. I had about an hour and a half before I was going home, and needed to get some primer on this for the next day. There we go, just clean it off, get a rag, nice clean rag for this size of work. No need to start blasting dust all over the workshop just for these few repairs. It wasn't going to save me a huge amount of time blasting dust everywhere. So there we go, it's feathered out there quite nicely. Gone through to base coat there. Again, that's feathered out okay. Feathered out okay. Base coat. It's gone a little bit further. You can see how deep the scratch would have been. And again, it was towards the edge of this rear door and going into the quarter panel there. Again, it was quite long. Feathered that out and just gone to bare metal there. But again, it's in a layered, it's like an onion. Blended out. You had a couple of repairs on the front wing there, and that's it after some filler. I didn't quite get the filler work, but I've got plenty more videos for that to come of all different types of filler work. So I ended up finding another little dent as well on the rear quarter there, which I ended up just doing as I went along. And that's it. I just quickly threw a sheet over and done some rough masking, keeping clear of all the gaps, back masking off there, keeping things as neat as possible. So I was priming with the Accu-Spray again. I only prime with the Accu-Spray, my favourite primer gun so far. And that's it, all primed up, looking good. And onto the base coat. So as you can see, you can see some black spots there. I've already put some black base on. which I mixed some mixing black and some deep black up, because as I came to mix the paint, I realised we'd run out of one of the main black tinters, which was 25, so I ended up mixing, like I said, some 22 and some 23 of the black base coat up just for a ground coat, and I ended up only having around 250 mils of this black sapphire. So it was to do the full side and the bumper, the wing, and a bit of a blend on the pillar. So I ended up just whacking a double, like sort of a light to medium double coat, and then I just went over with a control coat, which it seemed to work nicely. So that's something that you can do if you need to get the car painted and you've run out of a tinter. Get something that's close, mix it up, and you should be right, especially on a black. The job turned out spot on, and it worked for me this time. That's it. Like I say in other videos, you just got to gauge it and just go with your gut instinct a lot of the time. And most of the time it would not serve you wrong. So that's it, just checking my pressure. I'm using the T10 1.3. I'll have it 3 turns out, and I'm just making sure I didn't get any towards that blend area. Keep it nice and even, medium to light coat. It probably would have been okay with just these 2 coats, but because I had around, I'd say I had around 0.1 left, or probably just slightly over, I decided to give it that control coat, just to be on the safe side. It definitely would not have covered if I didn't put a ground coat on. I wouldn't have had enough paint, that's for sure. So I'll just give it a quick dry off. Very warm day, as it has been in the UK for some weeks. Very hot. Doesn't take long for it to flash off. And because it's very warm as well, you want to be making sure that you are putting water in your base coat, or it will not flash off properly and it will create a lot of sand pile and dust in your paintwork. So just keep things clean there. Just making sure I'm not getting too much of a build up. That's it, tap web's clean. See, in this weather you don't want to be putting it on too dry either, otherwise that can also create sand pile. So I'm just cleaning up them blends, ready for the tech coat. It is a glass gauge there, and I can actually see what the pressure is. I'm not just guessing. So yeah, you don't want to put it on too dry. So again, you just want to look at the base coat going on. And in this weather I would probably stay closer to the panel with the gun, otherwise it will be drying before it hits the panel, and again that can create that blotchiness and sand piling. Not so bad with a black, but come to do a silver and you will soon run into problems. So almost done. Colour is very good, no dramas about coming up towards the bonnet there. And I'm just going to keep it away from the blend, angle the gun to control where you want that base coat to be and where you want it to blend. So I'm just angling it there, keeping it even. Change the way I spray around the panel to make sure I don't flick it towards the blend area. And I'm ready for clear coating, so I left it a few minutes, about 5 minutes before clear coating. Went out and mixed some clear, and I was right back to it. It's around 35 degrees in the booth, so dries off in no time. So again, I'm just cleaning this area, making sure no overspray has gone up underneath that paper there. If you have any base coat that has landed into your blend area, it will not blend properly at all. The clear coat will not sit right and it will look sandpily, and most likely you'll have to flat it and often puff some clear over and reblend. But it wasn't the case this time. So yeah, sometimes in the past, or many times, that's what I've done. I forgot to tap rag the blend areas, and it ends up becoming sandpiler and turned into a bit of rework after I've painted the vehicle. So again, we learn from mistakes and we try to improve as we go along. As long as we're learning from the mistakes, then that's how we improve and we get better at what we do. So keeping it even, closed coat, 2 turns out, 1.3 T20. That's my preferred setup, using this Pro Light for clear. I think I had an extra half a turn out, as I remember, because it was a very, very warm day. I'm using Lesnol Premium Clear 420. So it goes on beautifully, and yeah, I really enjoy using this clear and using this gun to go with it as well. I find that it matches pretty much any finish that you want. It's versatile, and yeah, it's my preferred gun. I've used the Iwaters, I've used the I've got the Baleria, so the WS 400, which no, that's the W400 Baleria. I only use that for wet and wet primer and top coat now. I'm not a huge fan of that gun. I just don't think it's precise enough. The fluid that it puts out is okay, but I don't like the setup of the gun. And I've had the Iowater WS 400, the Supernova, and yeah, I wasn't a fan of that gun either. Again, it's just not precise, too much faffing around with the fan. It's not my preferred way of painting. I like consistency, and I feel I get that with the Velgus GTI Pro Light. So I've got it at 2 bar. I'm just checking there, the pressure was dropping. So I'm starting towards this end now, and all my overspray is going to be landed onto the clear coat that's already been laid down. So I'm putting the clear on a little bit wetter now, and going for the factory finish on these M3s. It's okay. I don't think it's one of the best finishes that I've seen on BMWs. But that's what I go for. I do quite like a lot of the orange peel on just your everyday cars like this, and I don't like getting them too flat. I just don't think it looks right. Flat finishes are meant for classics, in my opinion. I think the on everyday cars, it just doesn't look right for me. So yeah, I try and match whatever finish is on the vehicle. So the Pro Light definitely does the job for me at the moment. The only one I've not tried yet is the SATA for the clear coat. I'd really like to try that. So just coming towards the end now. Got a very nice finish. And always just checking, making sure there's no spots that you might have to just puff a bit more clear on. It's certainly better than polishing afterwards. So just going past that first layer of clear, and I do apologise on the positioning of the camera. It's something that I will look to improve as I progress making these videos. I wasn't going to record this, but decided I had my camera there. I thought, let's get it done, as I already had a few clips of me prepping the vehicle. So with blacks it's nice and easy to see that wet edge as you're coming up, following it up. So starting from the bottom and just watching that paint go on to get the desired effect that you're looking for. You do get to see the job a little bit clearer in a few moments. And you'll just puff a little bit of extra clear that. So sometimes you just check the reflection. happy with that. And I'll go and get my minigun with some fade out and puff some over the pillars and the bumper. So there will be loads more videos to come. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I definitely will be doing it for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I'm really happy doing it, and I think they're only going to get better. I'll be putting my all into these videos, making sure I can get some good content out there. I'm learning each video, and I'll keep improving and progressing, trying to get the best content out there, and to give people something different in the YouTube community. So I'd say some 80 to 20% finish to lacquer ratio there. Just to puff a little bit over the wet edge. That's all you need to do really, puff it over the wet edge. Go and get the minigun and a fade out agent and just go over that wet edge as well, and the rest of the pillar or blend area that you are doing. So also to come is some review and demonstrations on different products that I have in line to give people options on automotive accessories and equipment, to give you the chance of making the best choice. So if you could please leave a comment or like or subscribe, that would be excellent. I'd like to know your thoughts, any feedback that you might have for me. I am always willing to listen and take things into consideration, and I want to just learn, grow, and like I said, create a community, and hopefully get in touch with a lot of the other people and spray painters that are making these YouTube videos. I think in this trade, especially at the moment, we need a type of togetherness, and like I said, a community to help keep us together, and the love of the industry does not die out. We can keep it going. So here's a quick look at the car after I've just finished clearing it. It's clean, looking good. So she's back to good health. As you can see, the repairs are nice there. I've got some others after it's done. The repair is good. No ripples. Looking good, if I do say so myself. So that was one of the things when I was apprentice. After I've repaired something, I would be always in the booth straight after, looking at the finished product, and that's how you get better, through just being relentless. So thank you, take care, and I will see you in the next one.